Hello, welcome to Euphoria. I am Everest Burke. It's my first time on the channel. Very excited. Today I will be your narrator for a fun session of a new game, Mappa Mundi, by Three Sales Studios. This game is an ecology and exploration game. Nice chilled vibes, zero combat. The awe and majesty of nature, hopefully. The game is coming to Kickstarter this very February 2025, so check that out if you enjoy what you see here. We are playing through an adventure created with one of the community members for Mappa Mundi, Jamie Bernstein. So this is, I think, available on itch. This is a game that's going to be created with, well, a piece of material that has been created under the upcoming license for Mappa Mundi, which will allow access to the creatures and rules and the journey deck. This is a game that's played with its own set of very beautiful cards. A little note before we get started. This particular adventure is set in a fictional country of Zoumung, which is inspired by Ming Dynasty China. Three Sales Studios have worked with sensitivity readers and people of Chinese heritage to sensitively bring this region to life. And we wanted to acknowledge before we get started that none of us are of that origin, but we will be doing our best to be as respectful as possible of the culture that this fictional culture draws its inspirations from. So that's our little bit of accountability there. Anything else I need to mention before we get started? Yeah, just check out the Kickstarter. Hope you enjoy the game. And now it's time to introduce our wonderful cast, I think. So shall we start with Aida?
Hi, thanks for having me here. My name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her. I am a Latinx criminal of color. I have tan skin, dark eyes, dark hair, and I'm wearing a gray slate jacket top with an ochre t-shirt. I'm also one of the co-founders of Euphoria here, and I'm really excited to play this game.
Amazing, wonderful. And who are you going to be playing?
I'm going to be playing an archivist. My archivist's name is Pluma, Pluma, and her pronouns will be she and her.
Amazing, wonderful. Next up, we have Darcy.
It's me, JC Darcy. I'm also a co-founder here at Euphoria. I use they, she pronouns. I am a white, femme-presenting non-binary person with long brown hair, round glasses, a red lip, and a cryptid creeks pin. I have played this game before. I think I'm the only other person at this table besides Everest. I love it very, very much. It also lodged in my brain. It has not left. It has been here rent-free for a while. I'm excited to play it. I'm really excited to back it. Really excited to have it on the channel. I'm going to be playing the Guardian, and my Guardian is called Joss and also uses she, her pronouns.
Amazing, wonderful. Just writing that down. Next we'll do Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Kelly. I'm English. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a mixed race woman with tan skin, long, straight black hair, and I'm wearing a little black dress with flowers on it. You know, nature theme. Definitely not what I was wearing already. This is me making an effort. I'm excited to play this game. I have not really had a chance to read any of it, peek behind the curtains, so lovely viewer and listener, I'll be learning it along with you. Very excited to get into it. My character is a diviner, uses she, her pronouns, and her name is Maxilla.
Maxilla. Taylor.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Navarro. I use she, her pronouns. I am also a mixed race Latinx presenting woman with dark hair and a braid, round black glasses, and I'm wearing a blue hoodie, which also was me making an effort to look nice and definitely not what I already had on. Today I'm going to be playing your fixer, who uses she, her pronouns, and her name is Penny.
Penny. Amazing. So we've got Pluma, Joss, Maxilla, and Penny getting ready to go on an adventure. And since I didn't remember to say, very rude of me, I am a Caucasian woman wearing a black t-shirt with a kind of green and pink and purple design of pixelated dragons. I have dark hair, pulled up, half down, because I cannot play games with my hair in my face. I get very distracted. So yes, I think that should be us getting ready to start. So we join our chroniclers, for that is what you are. You are a group of chroniclers from the Mappa Mundi Institute, which was founded to explore the world of Ecumen, which is a world that has experienced some strife in the form of a natural or unnatural, we're not sure, disaster, which is known as the Flux, which has unmade parts of your reality. The chroniclers find themselves with a new task, which is to go out into the world and record and chronicle the flora and fauna and magical creatures therein to protect them from this great unmaking. You are ecologists and scholars, and you are invited today to the capital of Zoumung, Seiotung, where the populace are suffering under a deluge of rain that has been going on for 2 weeks. This is uncharacteristic, and there have been stories of a monster being spotted. Now, in this world, monsters are just awe-inspiring creatures, much like natural creatures, but with supernatural powers and sort of mythological status. They are rare, they are largely respected and largely understood to be in need of protection and respect. That doesn't apply to every single person in the world. There are some bad people in the world who do not feel that way, but certainly as chroniclers, you have the utmost respect for them. So you have been invited to come and investigate what might be going on. So a little bit about the city of Seiotung. It is the capital of the Zoumung Empire. It is a city of canals and waterways, tiered pagodas, lotus ponds, set against the backdrop of a magnificent waterfall named the Dragon's Gate, which flows down into a river that flows through the city through multiple tiers, which is called the Dragon's Tail, out to a port which is the heart of the Empire's wealth, or certainly was before the Flux came and threw everything into disarray. They were just in the middle of rebuilding and starting to make some real progress on it when these terrible rains came. They are wild, out of control. There is flooding, there is mudslides, there is chaos. Traders are starting to move to different ports. This is creating serious problems for the people of Seiotung and the Empire. You have been contacted and now stand on a rainy, cobbled street, speaking with Captain Lau, a woman with close-cropped dark hair, Southeast Asian features. She wears a hauberk of chainmail over blue robes. She's wearing a very shiny, clearly polished, plumed helmet. And she stands in the street with you, holding an umbrella. And she's saying enthusiastically, "I'm so relieved to see you. There's been a sighting of so a gentleman who works in the sewers was working and says that he was attacked by a gigantic pale worm. She points to an open manhole, which is being guarded by two very soggy, very unimpressed Imperial guards, who are just stamping their feet to keep warm and, just look at you kind of pitifully. She says, "We've been guarding the exit ever since. Nothing has come up. Nobody's seen anything. We also have the gentleman who's by the name of Sung Ziham. He's over at the guardhouse a couple of streets away. If you want to speak to him, you're also welcome to go down and check out the sewer system where he was working. Strange thing, we've discovered that the sewer system, there is a hole through to a natural cave system that we didn't know existed. We haven't begun to explore. We wanted to wait for the experts to come and take a look. but yeah, we're very hopeful that this monster sighting has something to do with this terrible rain, and if we can figure out what has upset it, then maybe that will fix this. Maybe it has to be worth a try.
Oh yeah, you must really miss petrichor.
Sorry?
Oh, petrichor, it's the smell of fresh grass after rain. But if it doesn't stop raining, you don't get to enjoy the smell after the rain. And that's just
Well,
tragic.
I mean, what I wouldn't give to smell petrichor right now, honestly. And she just like shakes out wrings out the bottom of her very soggy robes.
Oh yes.
But something new on top of the other new things we were told and invited here to help you get more details on. So a new thing that wasn't in the debriefing. So furiously scribbling down, and and I'm sure we have already the schematics for the sewer. We know exactly where to go. Is there any other information that we don't? Your wonderful office already supplied us with.
You should have the schematics for the sewer.
Yes,
Although, as I
yes.
say, I'm not sure whether the sewer will turn out to be where we want to search, or this cave system that is newly discovered. Unfortunately, we don't have any kind of map for that because nobody's been in yet.
A new thing that I'm so happy. Yes, we will do our best, and we can work out and confirm it together. And
As she's gesticulating wildly, I'm trying to protect the notepad and the sheets of paper from this driving rain. She's just moving around
Yeah.
too much.
But
And
what
eventually I just
is
give
Pluma
up.
doing to prevent her precious notes getting wet?
I would argue that my character Pluma, as an archivist, someone who enjoys taking notes, finding new information, categorizing, finding experts, working with experts, I would argue her field notebook actually has a bit of paper that may already have some waxy elements on it that is rather elemental proof.
It's a hardy explorer's notebook and can
Mm.
handle this kind of wet weather. Excellent. Well prepared.
Then I give up very quickly because I know it's flawed, it's futile.
The
Can we go in
the
yet? Can I go in?
captain
Can I go in?
nods eagerly and says, "Yes, of course. There's the sewer that you can, of course, take a look at, and then of course we have the maintenance worker, Mister Sung, who is we've kept hold of him for the last couple of days. He's getting quite impatient, but we thought you might want to speak with him. So, but I leave it to you how you want to talk. You are the experts. We are so glad that you're here."
The mister is impatient, and I look at my team. Is it all right that if he's impatient, I don't think I should be the one talking to him because I would want to ask about,
Somewhere inside we can get out of the rain.
Maxilla just points to the open manhole and is like, "It's probably not raining down there."
Are you going to be okay down there? It's going to be quite overwhelming.
Oh no, there'll be lots for me to read. It'll be great.
Penny, you ready too?
Penny's just kind of been standing there, like cross-armed, like open leg stance, cross-armed, just like completely just chilling in the rain, not bothered at all. She has like one of those like Mr. Darcy-esque t-shirts, and like a little vest that's open. It's just like all stuck to her torso, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll go wherever you guys want to go."
I want to go into a sewer.
I guess we're going into the sewer.
We don't want to talk to the gentleman first.
We don't want to get some food. We've been traveling for so long.
But maybe we should have a quick word with the gentleman and then head to the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
But then sewer, new thing, sewer.
I feel like if we let you two loose in the sewer, we're not coming back up to ask more questions, and maybe you want to get a little bit of knowledge from the expert witness first.
Well, when you
Question
put
mark.
it,
She raises an eyebrow.
well, when you put it that way, I absolutely want to come up for new information. Two, gentlemen, where can we find him?
The captain steps forward and says, "Yep, of course. It's just a couple of streets from here. I'll lead the way." And she begins sploshing off down the street through the water that is just running down the street here, and you're kind of fjording it up to your ankles, walking and then taking a left and then a right, and you come to the Azure guardhouse where they have been keeping Mr. Sung in as much comfort as they can to wait for your interview. Captain Lau opens the door onto a stone flagged room, cozy, warm. There is a fire going, there is food laid out. It's a cozy scene. There's a mural on the back wall of this city 100 years ago at the height of the previous emperor's reign, with beautiful golden threadwork embroidery and blossom trailing across it. It's gorgeous in here. The one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb is Mr. Sung, a tall, gaunt man in his mid to late 20s. He is still wearing his workman's overalls. They hang off him slightly as he's a bit gangly for clothes to fit him right. He has 2 days worth of scrub beard, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, and he looks impatient. He's sitting in a chair, like gnawing on a pastry, and his knee is just jiggling up and down. And he sees you come in and sort of stands up and puts the last crumb of the pastry down on the table and sort of wipes his hands off and sort of says, it's Z Ham. You must be the Chroniclers. Looks at the captain and says, does this mean I can go home soon? The captain says, just as soon as you've spoken with the Mappa Mundi Chroniclers, I'm sure they'll find your testimony very useful. He says, well, just as long as you catch that monster. Horrible thing.
I look at the captain. You didn't let him go home?
She seems to think about several things she can say, and then just nods and takes up a stance by the fireplace.
Well, I mean, if anyone arbitrarily found themselves in the sewer, I think they'd be a bit ornery too. So, yes, we're here to find about the worm. If you can tell us everything you know about it, then I'm sure everything should be square with the captain. And I will also ensure to include your name in the footnotes and call you on as expert from the comfort of your own home. If you let me know where I can reach you.
Oh, I mean, I'm all right. I'll just. There's not much to tell. I was working in the sewers. That's where I work. Points to his workman's uniform, and I was doing some repair work because with all the flooding, there's a lot of that going round, and there was the hole in the wall, and then this big pale white worm thing came out with this huge mouth and these teeth, and it just went for me. And I screamed and I ran and I got up to the manhole, and I thought it was going to get me, but then there would just happen to be a couple of guards going past, and they helped me up, and thank heavens they did, because I don't know what could have happened, and I've got a cat to take care of.
Oh, that must have been scary. I'm so sorry you were scared like that. And so the guards helped you out of the sewer, and they also saw the worm chasing you at the primary manhole?
Well, no, they said they didn't see it, and that it saw them and ran off, I think.
Huh. Thank goodness you're all right, and for posterity measures, for the footnotes as well. The cat's name you are in charge of is?
It's Mittens.
Mittens. Okay, thank you. Scribble.
As she's scribbling, I'm immediately moving over to where the fireplace is as well. Purely because I want to get nice and warm. It's rainy out there. That happens to bring me into the captain's orbit. I'm just gonna say, those pastries. Is there any more of those? Could you maybe source
She
us?
gestures. Absolutely, go for it.
Oh, a cup of tea. Cup of tea, lads. Cup of coffee. Should we get
There's a couple of guards. It's a guardhouse, and there's a couple.
There's more
who've
than
been
just her in the
sort of
room.
keeping company, keeping
Gotcha.
Mr. Sung company, and they sort of nod and head off to do the round.
Okay.
Mr. Sung says, "So that's it. Then that's everything I know. So I think I should just go." Anyone who wants to at this point can make a check of some kind to see what they're making of this situation. Let's do our first roll of the game. To orient us here, and for our listener, the adventures in Mappa Mundi come in 3 parts. We are starting out with the research phase, which is where you gather the information that you can before you go to the next phase, which is the journey phase, which is you heading out, trying to find the monster or phenomenon that you have come to study. And then finally we'll end with the encounter phase, where you find what is at the heart of this mystery and try to learn as much about it as you can. So right here in the research phase, what is it that any of you would like to try and figure out in this situation?
Maxilla has wandered over to the mural, the tapestry. And I think there's just the sound of the drip, drip, drip as she's just wringing her hair out and kind of getting really far too close to it and kind of just taking some little sniffs. And when Mr. Sung starts talking, she glances round and I think notices that the back of his overalls is sweat drenched. She's been in this hot room. And I think she's just going to lean a little bit close to him and just take a whiff of that sweat smell. She's very good at divining intentions from people, and she wants to know if there's any reason he's so antsy to get out of here beyond just being bored.
So you want to perhaps use a skill here? Is it intentions is the skill?
It is.
Wonderful. Can you roll for me? So intentions, which ability does that map to? Do we know?
It says deduction on my sheet.
Deduction, yes. So can you roll me deduction?
Okay,
it's either a D4 or a D6, depending on how... Oh, yeah, that should be
D6
for you. So this is I'm going to say that's a 3 that we're aiming for.
Okay. D6. That's a 4.
A 4. Okay. Intentions. I'm going to say that Mr. Sung definitely is uncomfortable in ways that are not just about getting home to feed his cat. He has something to hide, for sure. I will give you extra to that. While you're looking at the sweat on his back, you smell something else as well. A couple of other scents. Charcoal and something earthy and fungal as well. But yes, he's definitely hiding something and wants to get out of here before you press too hard.
Are any of these pastries mushroom pastries?
The captain sort of... Mrs. Sung turns around and notices you far too close, sniffing him, and gives you a strange glance. And the captain sort of leans around him and says, "No, we can maybe source some if that's if you need."
No, I was just, you seem like a real fun guy, Mr. Sung. And I'll turn back to the tapestry.
Can I wander over next to Maxilla and just kind of fold my arms behind my back and pretend I'm looking at the tapestry? Because I assume we've worked together enough that I would know that you've done something.
Yeah, you're watching out for Maxilla sniffing things.
Exactly.
You know about her special skill.
Yeah, so I just kind of stand there and rock back on my heels.
I'll sort of start wringing out clothes and hair again to make a loud dripping noise, and under it go, I think it's about more than mittens that he wants to leave. I think he has secrets.
I just nod and I do kind of a slow circuit and go and stand back in front of Mr. Sung, and I'm like, so what part of the sewers were you working in?
Well, the part where he looks at the captain and the captain says, Mr. Sung says that he was working in the part that was adjacent to the manhole that we just saw. Miss Sung's like, yeah, that part. It's the C12 junction.
And what part is the cavern opening?
Oh, it's basically there. I didn't run far before I went for a manhole because I didn't think I could outrun the thing. It was huge.
With long legs like that, you're not very fast.
I mean, he looks a little bit embarrassed and says, I'm a bit clumsy.
That's fair. That's fair.
Was it a natural hole in the wall? Or did it look cut? Human-made?
I couldn't possibly comment. I'm not a stonemason.
Interesting.
But you can tell when something's a tear versus when something's a clean cut.
I mean, there was a monster coming out of it and I ran. Anybody who wants to make an observation or deduction check for me?
I am terrible at both, so I will let somebody smarter than me.
I have a D6 there I can roll then.
So I'm trying to go for a thing and I don't know whether it's gonna work or not.
What thing are you going for?
So under interactions, I have something called provoke.
So the interactions come in useful usually at the encounter phase, but you know what? Let's give it a go. Give me a deduction roll and see if you manage to provoke something out of this person.
Okay. Fantastic. That's a 4.
Yes.
I rolled a D6.
That's a success. So provoke. So what interactions do is they are normally used when you encounter a monster. You use your interactions to try and uncover the monster's behaviors. In this case, I think you're going to uncover a behavior of Mr. Sung's. And that is that he is corrupt. He has some dealings. You just get a sense. He's got like a little bit of twitchiness about him. He knows something about that hole in the sewers, and he does not want the guard especially to know what he knows about that hole in the sewers. You get that from your deduction. Was Pluma rolling something?
Oh, I'm happy to roll. So I can roll a D6 observation, and that is going to be a roll behind my screen.
Aiming for a 3.
Unfortunately, I rolled a 2 instead, and I am pressing for details on the worm itself, and I am sketching it out, and I'm spending a bit too much time on the shading of
You
the
get a
toothy
2 because
maw.
he's just not giving you much other than big mouth, pale worm. It's the same details over and over, and it's not a lot. You get the sense that he was very panicked when he encountered this thing and just ran.
Big, giant. They're all synonyms. Yes.
I would like to walk over to. Is it Joss, your character, Darcy? I'd like to walk over to Joss at the pastry table, and just like mutter, he's corrupt, doesn't want to talk in front of the guards. I'm going to take care of the problem. Can you press him? And I will turn to the wonderful captain, and ask them to lead me the way to like any tools that they have on hand as a fixer, because the other guards have left the room to go get tea. And if we're going to be encountering things like holes, I'm going to need like rope and lanterns and things that unfortunately, I just didn't have the space to bring on me, given that I could only carry a satchel as we were traveling. And I would like to get this captain out of the room so that way the others can speak to Mr. Sung without any guards present.
I think you say this, and I think the captain listens and gives you a knowing nod and says, absolutely, and just leads you to an equipment room and starts dutifully, allowing you to take whatever you need in that regard.
Thank you.
When they leave the room, I'm going to finish the pastry that I've got, because you don't know where your next pastry is coming from.
Why?
It's very important when you're traveling. And then I'm going to kind of like pull out. So a guardian in Mappa Mundi is like, I'm basically Legolas. It's like the ranger. I'm the kind of keeping you all safe, making sure you don't sleep in poison ivy, cutting my way through thickets of forest and things. And I imagine to do that job, Joss has quite a large sort of hunting knife, like a multi-tool. Like it's kept sharp at one end, blunt at one end, somewhere in the middle. It can do many things, and she does do many things with it. She just takes it out and goes and sits on the other side of the table from Mr. Zoumung and puts her feet up on the table. And these feet are covered in mud. Like, she wears really solid, steady boots, but they're covered in mud. I'm dripping all over the carpet. And I just sort of like start picking pastry out of my teeth with the sharp end of this knife. And I'm just going to hold his gaze the whole time.
He tries to look away, tries to look anywhere else, but his eyes keep being drawn back to you and the knife. He starts to sweat. Look, I just want to go home. I don't know what you're not even asking me questions now. I mean, it doesn't seem like you need me. I mean, I'm just
I'm going to cut him off by slamming the knife down on the table. Not point down, just flat.
Well, that's a big knife.
Where were you really?
I was in the sewer.
Really?
No, really, I was in the sewer.
Where were you going?
But I saw the hole.
Where?
and I saw the hole, and I had a little look, and then the monster appeared, and then I ran. That's all true. It's all
you see
true.
My friend behind you.
I don't like doing this. Okay. Can you answer my friend's questions?
I am. I'm answering. Look, you want to know about the hole. You want to know about the hole in the wall, right? That's okay. So you're right. You're right that there's, sometimes I see people in the sewers, and I don't know who they are, but sometimes they just, I don't get paid very well. I don't get paid very well, and I don't think the emperor himself would begrudge me just a little, a little on the side to just turn a blind eye. That's all I do is turn a blind eye. I don't ask questions, but I just saw some people in the sewer, and I think that the hole's got something to do with them. So I just don't say nothing about it, and there's nothing illegal about that, is there? Just not saying anything, that's not a crime.
Well, we could ask.
I mean, I'd just rather you didn't.
We could ask the emperor. You say he probably wouldn't mind. We could find out.
The emperor?
Well, we could find out. We could ask the question. Do you mind?
I just really want to go home.
You can. Tell us who you saw.
I don't know their names. I keep my distance. I don't, they give me a little bit of money, and I turn a blind eye. As I said, I don't, there's a couple of women, and they've got gear and backpacks. They look like explorer types. They don't look that dissimilar to you. Like, for all I knew, they were Mappa Mundi. For all I knew, could have been.
Give my friend a description.
Okay, so one of them is, she's tough. She's not tall, but she's stocky, and she's got dark hair. She wears it in a braid down her back, and she's got a couple of swords. She looks like she'd be handy with them. Even bigger than that knife, which she looks at again.
Just start
size
playing with her on the table.
And the other one is, she's got blonde hair in a sort of, cut to about here, glasses. She's real polite, like she speaks good. She's she's the one who gives me a little, just a little to not ask questions, which I don't. That's what they pay. They pay me not to ask questions. I don't ask questions. I don't have names. I don't know what they're doing down there. I suspect that the hole is something to do with them, but that's all I've got.
Okay, I've written that all down. Joss, is there any other questions you have?
I think that covers everything I was interested in. Maxilla?
Were the nice money ladies around when you saw the big worm?
No, I'd not seen them for a couple of days.
And you were just having a little cheeky peeky in the hole while they weren't there?
I was curious. I was just, what's in there? Nobody's been down there. I mean, I'm not about to go.
No,
I've got
that's
a cat to
fine.
get
We're
back to.
also very curious people. I didn't begrudge you that.
And that's when the worm came out.
Yeah, it just came round a bend and it just went for me.
Interesting. Okay. Pluma scribbles down something else, folds the sheet over, and hands it over to Mr. Sung. If you can please read this after we've left.
Okay, and he sort of tucks it into the top pocket of his overalls.
Is there anything else, friends?
Last thing. Did you have anything on you when you went down there? Were you carrying anything? Packed lunch? Or you pat a dog recently? Or
No, just tools and things. They should still be down there.
Okay. I'm gonna get another pastry. Do you want one, guys?
They are 3 days old. I can tell that from here.
We've been eating stale bread and rations for 3 weeks. These pastries are brilliant.
Fair.
Oh, only if there's enough and that the guards won't be inconvenienced.
They can get more.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything else you want to achieve at the guardhouse, or are we happy?
I'm just going to pat Mr. Sung on the shoulder as we leave and
He
say,
jumps out of his skin.
have a shower.
Oh, okay. Okay.
After we have left, if Mr. Sung is interested in opening the piece of paper that Pluma...
Oh, he does it as before you're barely out of the door.
In there is a completely empty sheet of paper, except on one side it says, "Thank you for owning up to the truth. We believe you can be a better person."
Oh.
You hear sobs coming from the guardhouse behind you. And Captain Lau comes out and joins you and says, okay, I don't know what you did, but did you get everything you needed? Can we release him? Is there anything I need to know?
Nah, seems like a nice guy. Told us all about his cat.
Mittens.
Funny, because I could swear that he's up to no good and not telling us what's going on, but hopefully you got what you needed.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being a dog person.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
He's just a cat person. You're just different fundamentally. He's lovely.
Very clean.
So, is it the sewer for you next, or is there?
Yeah, the new thing, and with the new thing, with the other new thing, which we will share and collaborate and talk to all you about, and you'll tell us more things. And please,
Of course, this way. And she leads you back to where you originally were, back to this open manhole where the same guards are there, still grumpy, still even soggier than you left them. And the manhole is open, and there is a ladder down to get down into the sewers, which you easily traverse down about 10 feet. It's a sort of circular tunnel. The world of Mappa Mundi is kind of medieval sort of period, usually in terms of technology, so having a sewer system is quite a marvel. This is an impressive feat of engineering that this city has sewers. You brace yourselves for smells, but actually with all this rain, it's been washed through so much that there's only very faint whiffs. It's mostly a clean space. You head in, there's various graffiti on the walls, and then just a little way away from where the ladder brings you down, you do see this hole in the brick tunnel that collapses into a cave system on the other side. It looks natural. And from inside that cave system, you can hear, if you listen carefully, rushing water.
How close to the river and the waterfall are we?
So the waterfall, you are down the hill from it. And the river, you are a little ways away as well. You are not. There are various canals. There are a lot of waterways in this city. The river has been kind of dammed and rerouted to provide canals for people to get around on, for ornamental purposes, various ponds and fountains and things. So you are never that far away from water here. So it's not that surprising, although this does have the echoey feel of water running underground.
Pluma would be curious to see from this opening in the wall, is there signs of this worm? Would Pluma know worms, even monstrous worms, typically might have some sort of slimy residue, might have some decomposing matter behind them or in their paths? Is there
Yeah.
signs of
Will you make an
worm?
observation check for me?
Yes, I can.
So that would be, I mean, it's a large creature, so I'm going to say that's a 2 to find some signs, but if you get higher, then there'll be more.
I rolled a 6.
A 6, wowza. Okay, so you observation a 6 on a d6. I'm going to give you a few things. One, yes, you do find signs of the worm. The beyond the hole in the sewer tunnel, the ground is muddy, and there are signs of some kind of, you would say, I would say for a 6, some kind of large lizard-like creature. There seems to be like the swishing S-shaped trail of a long tail moving through these mud tracks. It's a bit confused, but it seems like certainly something came up to this exit point and then headed back into the tunnel system. It certainly doesn't seem like something chased Mr. Sung out. It seems like his tales of being chased and nearly eaten are a little excessive. It seems like certainly there was something here and it was large, but it doesn't seem from the tracks to have been in pursuit of him. It just maybe collided with him momentarily. Observation 6, I will also say that as you are listening to the water running, you are in this tunnel and there's just water bouncing off the walls and echoing. And at first you feel like it's the effect of the enclosed space and the water running. But the more you listen, the more you hear a kind of rhythm to the water. Sort of like, 3 short beats and then a long, like ba 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 ba. You look at the moving water in the sewer and you kind of see, like, now that you know to look for it, like it's rushing, so it is textured water, but there is kind of that rhythm again. There's like a little spurts to the water as that happens.
Pluma does something unusual, and she puts her book and her plume down and starts tapping with her foot that rhythm, that bum 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 bum. Now the rest of you, do you hear that?
I hear you tapping.
Okay, so I'll stop for a moment.
Now that Pluma points it out, you have to listen carefully, but you do hear it. There is some kind of strange, almost music to the rain and the water and the all of this around.
And so that's the new thing as well that we have to verify later with our peers. And also the creature, the worm, it did go out here but retreated. So it territorial, defensive, but it wasn't necessarily going out of its way, Maybe it was just a scare tactic and not one of hunting.
Oh,
So it just wants to be okay. It probably just wants to be okay for itself. I don't think it was. If it was hungry, it would have gone further out, and we would have maybe not talked to Mr. Sung in the state that he was.
oh.
So we, based on my notes from this last sort of encounter with, it's not the same, but we should be careful looking at Joss, who's always concerned with our safety. But maybe we can come to a sort of understanding if we know what its needs are.
I don't know if this would be useful now or in the next phase, but I would like to kind of prepare us for traveling through the sewers and pull out like a bunch of cloths and start wrapping them around our shoes, so that way we make less noise as we move through the space. Because if it's territorial, then I don't want us to scare it and put it in defense mode,
Sure.
as we're here to observe.
Yes, you can do that preparation. Is there anything else that you want to do in this space, in these sewers? Does anybody want to make some observation checks to see what you see in this space, or anything else, any other skills that you would like to apply to this situation?
I'm not. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go
Tansy.
ahead.
I'm not sure what this would be, but if Pluma's kind of indicated this place where this tail has been, I think that Maxilla's gonna hunker right down in the water and get really close to it and just see if she can smell anything on that trail, on that track.
Okay. Yes, give me your is this one of your skills, or is this just plain deduction?
I have a skill called Whispers, which I'm not entirely sure what it does. It seems like it's like an information gathering thing, but I don't know if it would just be deduction or something else rather than that skill.
Let's say it is. Let's just say it's Whispers.
Let's say it is.
Give it a roll. Yeah.
So I
I'm going to
rolled
say
deduction.
again, it's a 2 to get something. It's a 3 or higher to get detail.
Okay. That was a 3.
A 3. Okay. You smell that same earthy smell that you picked up on Mr. Sung, and you look around near these tracks, and what you see is various little mushrooms glowing, just glowing very, very faintly, and growing just along the trails of this natural cavern space that has been discovered. So certainly there appear to be some very interesting forms of fungus that have grown up here.
I'm going to stand up abruptly so the water just splooshes off me, completely undermining Penny's excellent work to keep us quiet, and just turn around.
We haven't started moving yet, we're fine.
Mr. Sung's not the fun guy, the worm's the fun guy. Just point at the mushrooms. Have you seen these before?
Wait, have we seen this? Have we seen this? Have Pluma seen this before?
Pluma has not seen these particular mushrooms before.
Oh no.
This is a new ecological environment that was unknown prior to.
Wait, wouldn't it be funny? Pluma, as she's furiously sketching and writing down the location so other people can come and help as well. Just for funsies, sort of taps out that rhythm right next to the mushrooms. Boom, 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 boom. Boops the top of the mushroom. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I want you to make a exploration check for me.
Uh-oh.
Hi, my name is Aida. I push buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta
Always
have
have a
one.
button pusher.
Yeah.
Even when they're mushroom shaped.
Exploration, you said?
Exploration. Yeah.
All right, that's a
This
deep...
is your curiosity at play, is how I see exploration as a stat.
I rolled a 3 on a d4.
Oh, that's good. I think that as you do that, the mushroom responds. And I'm going to suggest that we do some shaping. Part of the game of Mappa Mundi is that we shape things. We usually do it in the journey phase more, but here let's just do a little taste of it. How do you think this mushroom responds? I'm going to say that you get the sense that this mushroom at least has evolved in an environment where these kind of rhythms are part of its life cycle. I want you to tell me how you can tell that.
I think as Pluma has just, for curiosity, booped out the rhythm on the cap of this brand new mushroom, the tip of her plume just holds a little bit longer on that last end, and she feels the mushroom cap sort of bounce upwards in the reverse sort of rhythm. And if she looks to the left and the right, some other mushroom caps are just very faintly bouncing.
It's like a ripple,
in the rhythm.
like a wave effect.
Oh, I love that. Holy
That's
moly.
Does anybody
cool.
want to add to this shaping? Part of the shaping is that you can build on each other's shaping. It's a rule that you should never negate anything that somebody has shaped before, but if you want to build on what Pluma has discovered, then please do jump in.
I would like to add something, please.
Go for it.
As they begin to bounce in like this reverse wave, I think that like that like dynamic floor lighting. So like they glow a little bit brighter, and as it kind of ripples out, like it kind of begins to show the path forwards. As like the light kind of like goes along and then fades behind it as they're like, because mushrooms work on like a network basis. And so they just glow a little bit brighter as the message gets sent along the network, just for like a second.
And you see a trail lighting up in the darkness of this cavern.
Mm-hmm.
Furious writing.
Pluma, you're a genius.
Wait, mushrooms, you don't talk, right? Wait, just in case. See, I'm doing it to me. I'm not meaning to hurt you. It doesn't hurt me. You can do it. You want to boop me? Do I get booped? Does Pluma get booped?
The mushroom attacks.
You lean down, you get real close, and the mushroom just goes boop.
They might be sentient.
And with Pluma being kissed by a mushroom, I'm going to say this is the end of the research phase. I think you have been shown a lighted path. I think this might be a good time to take a little break. What do we think before we go into the next phase, which is the journey phase, where the stuff that you have discovered or not discovered in this phase will come to bear. So yeah, let's come back in a few minutes and carry on this wonderful journey.
This is so cool.
Kissed by a shroom.
Hi, welcome back to Euphoria, where we are playing Mappa Mundi, the new game by 3 Cells Studios. We were just joining our Mappa Mundi Chroniclers as they have finished the research phase on the trail of a potential monster. So far, we have musical rain and water, potentially sentient mushrooms, some suspicious characters moving around in some newly discovered underground caverns. We were just about to start the second phase of the adventure, the second phase of any Mappa Mundi adventure, which is the journey phase, heading off to try and track down the creature or phenomenon that is causing, in this case, a deluge of rain that has been going on for 2 weeks. So yes, we have gone down into the sewers. We have found a hole in the sewer wall that leads into these caverns. We have interacted with some glowing mushrooms that have lit a way into these caverns for you to follow. You have prepped a little bit by putting some silencing cloth on your shoes, trying not to frighten a potentially defensive or territorial creature that you suspect is down here. And you head in, unless there's anything that anyone wants to do before we get this going.
2 very quick things. One, I wanted to check, because he was a very unreliable narrator, does the hole between the cave and the sewer look natural or man-made?
Make me a deduction.
Oh no, D4.
D4, that would be a 3. You got a 1?
I got a 1.
Very hard to tell. Very hard to tell.
You guys.
It looks like it could have been some kind of cave-in, and, Mr. Sung did say there has been damage from the rain and such, but yeah, hard to tell.
I pretend I wasn't really looking to check so that nobody asks me the answer and I don't have to lie. And instead, I'm going to turn my attention to. Is it mud on this cave floor? Did you say that? Like that's where the
Yes,
tracks were?
it is damp and muddy. There is some mud on the ground that Pluma saw the large tracks in. So yeah.
Cool. So we've spotted those tracks. I'm gonna have a bit of a more in-depth look. Not that I don't trust Pluma's eyes, but I know that she very quickly got distracted by more interesting things. I'm also going to look to see if I can see any trail of these two muddy women. If there are any footprints rather than.
You've got a tracks in the mud?
I've got tracks in the mud. So yeah, if we wanted to use that as a segue into moving
Go
on.
ahead and roll your tracks in the mud skill.
I get to roll a d6 for this one, because this is what I'm good at. They said rolling a 2.
It's a 2. Now, so the way that for a 2, I will say that it's just quite chaotic. Like, if they have come through here, the tracks that Pluma found are fresher and have kind of wiped out much of what might have been there before. You have testimony that they were through here a couple of days ago. You have no reason to believe, well, you have several reasons to believe Mr. Sung would lie, but he was quite under duress at the point where you got that out of him.
Was he? Oh, I wonder why he felt like that.
Just seemed to get really tense all of a sudden when you started, cleaning your teeth with your giant knife.
Doesn't like dental health.
Just
person.
Who can say? Who can say? Some people. So, is that we ready to head off? Great. So you head down this path that these glowing mushrooms are lighting up into this cave system, unexplored as far as you know by any other people, apart from maybe these strange characters that you have yet to meet in person. You head down a tunnel. You quickly move away from the point where torches were lit by the guards to light up the sewer space. You should have lanterns and torches of your own. For sure, Penny got some extra supplies from Captain Lau when you were in the guardhouse. You light those. You can see which way you're going. The tunnel kind of twists and turns, and as you travel, you do hear the sound of rushing water becoming louder. And at last the tunnel opens out into a space that shows a underground river flowing, and tied up at the side, a rowboat. The river flows into a larger open tunnel, just heading underground, and as far as you can tell by the orientation of it, it's going inland and down.
But the Dragon's Gate was pointing at the appropriate place.
So it's flowing contrary to.
It's going the opposite way to the river above ground.
This is fascinating.
It really is.
With Pluma's consent, I would like to link my arm through hers, so that way as she's scribbling and taking notes, I'm kind of like guiding her and holding a lantern up so she can see what she's doing, and I'll let the other two kind of like take the lead in whatever.
Oh, thank you. And Pluma will absolutely take advantage of that and even like lean forward, seeing as she has a bit of a counterweight, and also observe the rushing water. Looks to be flowing normally, rhythmically.
You can see again that same, like, letting your eyes go soft a little bit, you can see that same slight rhythm or pattern to the water. It's subtle, it's not immediately obvious, but there's still that slight vibration. It's not constant, it comes in kind of waves, but it's still that
Maxilla's gone, sorry.
No, I was going to say, Pluma just notes the rhythm, looks at the tied up boat, looks at Penny, and just and that's what she's doing. Boat, penny, rhythm.
Maxilla's going to sort of gather up the back of the long coat she's wearing and just kind of hand that bundle to Joss before leaning forward and plunging her head directly into the river.
Drop bundle, grab the back of her shirt so she doesn't get swept away.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Are you using a skill here? Are you going to use your whisper skill again?
I mean, there's an argument there's not much skilled about this, but she's hoping that if she can immerse her senses in this water, she might detect anything odd about it.
I'm going to
so
say
maybe
observation. You're just opening up your senses to try and see what you can get.
Okay, that's little d4, so...
Okay, let's see a 3 to get anything more than you already have.
Okay. It is a 3.
It's a 3.
Mhm.
You listen, it is cold. The water is blessedly clean and appears to be fresh water.
Oh.
You listen and you have that underwater echoey sound that you have to kind of eliminate out before you can hear anything else. You can feel that vibration kind of pulsing against your inner ears. And it also, now that you are underwater, carries a very sort of gentle tune to it. Kind of a cuckoo-ah, cuckoo-ah, like a calling little high-pitched rhythm.
Right. I'll yank myself back out, blow out the plume of water like a statue in a European city. The river is singing.
I beg your pardon?
It's singing. It's coo 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 ah, coo 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 ah.
Fascinating. Oh, everything sings here. The river sings? The mushrooms sing? Do the walls, do the rocks?
Start sniffing the walls.
Start listening to the rocks?
You don't get anything from the rocks, for sure. The walls, you get that same kind of like fungus smell. It's getting stronger as you head further in. And it's kind of strongest for your trained nose coming from the direction that the river is flowing in.
Okay. But no worm. Singing worm. Singing worm. But the river is here. Would there be any other paths for this worm to have taken? Is this worm also aquatic? Could this worm have just gone into the water and swam?
Is there like a path going alongside the river, or does it just kind of taper off and we have to get in the rowboat?
It tapers off and the rowboat appears to be necessary to further travel into these caverns.
It can probably swim.
Cool.
I'm just going to check one other place. I'm just going to look up. Are there any indications of tracks on the walls or the ceilings?
Make an observation check for me. That would be a 3 because it is dark in here and your torches only go so far.
And I only roll a d4. Oh, I rolled a 4!
A 4? You look at... No tracks on the ceiling. Just a few sort of small stalactites hanging down.
Then yeah, I guess it is a swimming, singing worm.
Okay.
Alright,
maybe the singing is also the thing. If we encounter the worm, maybe we should sing back. I don't know if the muddy money ladies know about this, but when in doubt, we tried the rhythm at the worm before we run, swim, defend. But we should be okay because we don't mean it harm. I think.
Did Mr. Sung mean it harm?
He didn't. He didn't look like someone who would know about the rhythm in here, the song in here.
Let's try and be quiet. Either way.
Oh, okay. Do we row rhythmically?
I suppose so. Yes.
Okay.
Is that you volunteering for rowing duty, Bloomer?
I can't write. I'll remember. I'll remember and write later. Okay, I'll row.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Maxilla's
okay.
already
You
in the
wait,
boat.
I'll
Like,
row.
Maxilla, no!
she's like a dog, like leaning off the front like a figurehead with her nose forward. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
I like hang back and look at Joss, and I'm like, do you want to be on keep them in the boat duty or rowing duty?
How strong are you?
I like to think we're like similar levels of strength, and this is
Okay.
something we regularly trade off on.
Above the table, I have a D6 in traversal. So I'm happy
I
to
have
row.
a D4, so I will be on. I will be on keep the nerds in the boat.
I just look at Maxilla, who is probably like lapping the water at this point, and just go, I've had enough of that for a while. Tap out.
Uh, I know it's fresh water, but maybe don't drink that. And I just like lift Max up just like a little bit, so she's like just above the water.
This like a dog above the
Yes.
bath.
And like I just kind of like sit like backwards, so I'm traveling backwards, and I've got one hand on Maxilla, and I'm just kind of eyeing up Pluma in case I need to reach forward with the other hand.
Just eyes on a swivel, taking them both in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you get into the boat. You have a plan for controlling the nerds and the boat, and you head off. Minimal rowing required because, again,
brilliant.
with all of this rainfall and water, the river is carrying you along. A little bit of rowing to course correct so that you don't bump into the sides and such. So, journey phase well and truly begun. What happens in Mappa Mundi in the journey phase is influenced by what happens in the research phase. There are cards per adventure that the way that this works, if you find certain clues, those cards will be upright and you will have an opportunity to shape your environment and discover something new. If you did not discover a clue or a piece of information, those cards will be inverted and you will have a challenge to overcome. So we have 3 cards for this journey. And the first that you will be revealing will be upright, and it is the cave card. So, upright cave. As you travel down this underground river, the tunnel carved in limestone rock by millions of years of the flow of water underground opens out into a vast cavern filled with all manner of fungi, gigantic and undisturbed, mostly. Now, because this is upright, you have an easy journey through this cavern ahead of you, and you have an opportunity again to engage in some shaping. So I'm not going to tell you what these amazing, incredible fungi look like. I'm going to ask you to tell me what you see. Taylor.
I've had a kind of cool idea.
Sure.
I would really like for there to kind of be like natural like lines in the walls. And for the mushrooms to kind of like small ones, not the huge ones, to kind of like line the walls, almost like musical notes where there's like a big cluster for the long one and then like little small trails and then like another big one. Because I just think that would really nail the musical theme and be kind of cool.
Yeah, and as you pass through, they travel along the walls like that, and you can see the ripple sent out by Pluma's little tapping of the mushrooms still traveling along here and through this cavern and back and forth along the walls. What else do we see?
There's the very slight sound the mushrooms make as they're kind of pulsing. But because we're in this huge cavern with this high ceiling, the echoes flow around us until that simple rhythm is layering on top of itself and creating complexities in the rhythm, almost getting more and more like a song, but still always built out of those do 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 repeating theme.
Yeah, there's kind of an echoey humming that is oddly soothing in this space. The air is earthy and sweet, and you see little glowing spores traveling through the air around you as you float through this magical space.
Oh. I think within the clusters there are some bigger mushrooms, and as the song gets more complex, that final note that is held a little longer, some of these bigger mushrooms will actually release some spores in tune with that in tune with that last longer note. And I would be fine if Maxilla wants to describe what sort of smells that might not necessarily be mushroomy at first.
Yeah, I think it is that fungal earthy smell you would expect from a mushroom, but when those bursts come forth, there's this almost sharp, spicy note coming through, as though something about these mushrooms is part of the stone, as if there's something shiny and pointed about these mushrooms, as if they've melded with stone, and that scent is coming through.
Yeah, they're feeding on the minerals from the rock and the water over thousands of years of evolution.
I love it here.
There's a place in Yorkshire called the Blue John Caverns, so named because it is huge underwater rivers in these caverns full of this stone called Blue John stone. So there's these veins of beautiful, almost shimmering, almost glowing blue rock when you take the rowboat underneath. And I feel like it's beautiful. I recommend it if you can get to Yorkshire for a visit. And I just imagine if you could go there and it was singing mushrooms. That's where we are.
Absolutely. Amazing. So you pass through this cavern peacefully, taking it in, trying to remember everything you can so that you can take this back to the Institute. This is an incredible find. You see so many different species. Definitely you're going to recommend that somebody come down here and catalogue gently what they find. You pass through, remembering what you can. I'm going to move on to our next journey card. Our next journey card is an opportunity. So there's the opportunity card in the deck that allows for encounters that aren't strictly landscapes. This is upright, and because it's upright, you hear before you see as you pass again into a slightly narrower passage, still tall and still tunnel-like, but the water's narrow slightly, so the water rushes a bit quicker. And you are heading towards a bend, and you can hear voices echoing around that bend. You hear a conversation happening between two different voices. And one is saying, well, we can't go back up. It's just we've got the guard everywhere, and then we've got, we've got the creature on the other hand. So what are we going to do? We've been stuck down here for 2 days. The other one says, perhaps it's time to just give up and just, let it have what it wants and just leave. No one says, no, we've spent too long down here. We've got to. And then you come around the corner and you see two figures by firelight. They are sitting on like a little natural cove, sort of shale pebble beach at the edge of part of this stream. Their backpacks that they are sitting on. There is a little fire going. You smell the smoke in this kind of enclosed space, and you see them. You are outside the range of their firelight for a moment. Is there anything you're doing to prepare to encounter these two? The stream will take you past them.
What is past them? Can we see beyond, or is it another bend?
It's just the river continuing down and through. Now that you can see them, I will say they match the description that Mr. Sung gave you.
Oh, so the worm might be ahead, likely ahead. And
They know something. They know some things about it.
we should. Right. Mr. Sung said at least one of them was very polite, and maybe the other might have some sort of kinsmanship with Joss because of Big Knife.
I do have my big knife.
Your big knife makes friends, or
Sort of.
that was a weird. Yeah, that's for later. But
I'm not
tally
going to
ho.
go pulling out my big knife right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and have a conversation. Maybe they're explorers. Maybe they're
Everyone's an explorer, just for different reasons and different ventures. Uh,
They
everyone look
at this point
natural.
you are drawing closer, and even though you are keeping your voices low, this is an enclosed space, and in a lull in their intense discussion, they hear something enough for the one with the two long swords at her side, the one who looks tough with the dark braid, to stand up and look out and to see you coming, and it's like, who's that? Who's coming? Oh, hello?
Hi,
Hi.
and I'm gonna kind of let tentative go of Maxilla and raise my hands. We're researchers from the Mappa Mundi Institute. We mean
The
no
the
harm.
The tough-looking one, one of her hands goes to one of her swords. The other, who's taller, longer, blonde hair, small glasses, as described, steps in front of her deftly and sort of says, "Ah, Chroniclers, wonderful, wonderful. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sue, and this is Mei Ling. We appear to have gotten ourselves stuck down here. Um, yes, so any assistance you could provide with telling us the way out would be wonderful."
The guards helped us get in here with their permission.
Uh,
Is, is,
yes,
is,
well,
is going their direction something feasible for you both?
oh, why, yes, if only we knew where they were, then we would head towards them. We're quite lost, you see.
Upstream.
Oh, heavens, well, that is going to be a difficult row, but I suppose, Mailing, you're not this strong for no reason. Let's get on. And you see them head towards another rowboat. Mailing goes over and kicks rocks over their fire, putting it out, removing some of the light in the cabin. You still have your lanterns, and they have lanterns that they now light, and are going to go and head towards their boat and row away from you.
Do you
So
want to make
you
a
knew the
trade?
way out. Were you lost then? Huh?
we you just told us to go upstream. We weren't sure, so now we've had your advice. We didn't like a 50-50 chance.
So, about that creature you were talking about.
Creature?
Yeah, you said it.
I don't remember
I
saying
have I
anything.
have the transcription of your conversation. Sorry, before we're coming down the bend.
Well,
Hang on,
it's
hang on, hang
very.
on. We can make a trade. Are you interested in a trade?
Her entire posture changes. We've been known to trade. What kind of trade? Mailing stares around and goes, "What you got?"
We have got something that will get you passage past the guards, and we have resources until you get there. The more you give us, the more I'll give you.
Let's see. I want you to make some kind of check here. No, do you know what? I think it depends. What do you want? What do you want in return for these? Not that we would have any trouble getting past the guards, law-abiding citizens, and all that. But what exactly? What do you need?
We need to know what is ahead. We've heard from Tales that there is a large worm ahead, and we're here to look at it and see what's going on with it and to chronicle it. The more information you can give us ahead of time, the more I can give you. And I will start with and I pull out I reach into Pluma's backpack and pull out like something with an official letterhead for the Mappa Mundi Institute. She'll write you a note excusing you and saying that you're witnesses, but you're free to go because we've already spoken to you. They'll let you pass straight away. No questions asked.
Mailing comes forward and takes a look at the letterhead, assesses it, turns back to her friend and says, "Looks legit. Probably work as well. Go on, tell her." And Sue says, "Would you care to sit and discuss?"
Yes, my friend needs to be steady to take notes.
I'm gonna stay in the
absolutely.
boat.
Okay.
Just in case.
She sort of sits back down around the now smouldering put-out campfire and puts her lantern down to one side and says, "So, we travel through these tunnels. They are useful for various purposes, the moving of cargo of various kinds. So we know a little bit about them. And it was only recently that we encountered a creature down here, a large, what I want to say, lizard, big white lizard. Yeah, I mean it's just through there, up there. I mean, there's a bit of choppy water between here and there, so I'd be prepared for that. But yes, that's what you're dealing with."
And how long ago did you run into this creature for the first time?
Oh, a couple of weeks ago.
Interesting. And what conditions did you meet it under?
Oh, we were traveling through, and we happened to find the cavern where it makes its home. It just so happens that there is, there's further routes that are useful to us on the other side of its cavern home. So we were traversing and trying our very best not to disturb the majestic beast.
So you trampled through its living room. Uh-huh.
Oh,
and
no.
did you interact with it at all?
Not by choice, no. But it seemed to feel threatened for some reason, and
Did you
yes,
draw your swords on it? And I look specifically at Mei-Ling.
Mei-Ling's like, no, no. Who would draw swords on a monster? That's illegal.
Did you already have them out?
No, I don't just walk around with my swords out.
Why not?
Well, I fell over.
Be careful.
I mean, I am. Believe you me, I am.
I just look at them stood on the bank and me in a boat. Doesn't look like it.
She gives you the meanest stink eye. Meanwhile, Sue's just like, anyway,
We're gonna kiss later.
Happy to answer any other questions that you might have about the creature. I mean, I'm no expert. It was large.
If you could accurately describe the encounter instead of trying to make yourselves look good, that would be preferable. Again, the more accuracy you give me, the more resources I can give you. You must want for something. Warmth, food,
Fulfillment,
tools.
adventure, uplifting others.
We have some old
contributing to
pastries.
society.
3-day-old pastries.
Yeah, I took so many.
I'm going to invite anyone who is observing this to make an observation roll. Difficulty, I think, a 4.
Not my strong suit, but why not?
Oh, 3.
2.
2.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Like
So
fiercely
I think
transcribing the conversation verbatim.
you're transcribing the conversation, and you see that as soon as Mei Ling like breaks off her staring contest with Joss, she breaks it off, and immediately her eyes flick to her backpack, and you see that the backpack appears to be over full. It barely closes, and there's something cylindrical pushing against the canvas of the backpack.
Oh, they didn't.
They, um,
Mhm.
So, if I have to think about barreling through someone's living room is very inappropriate. The creature briefly appeared near where we entered, but didn't go full out. So it didn't intend. I don't think it meant to hunt or hurt anyone. It was being defensive. Uh, Pluma would like to somehow conclude or just devise that it had a home, it had a nest. Is this something she can accurately conclude about the creature? And ergo, evidence A, that backpack?
It seems like perhaps the creature was searching for something. I'll give you that.
And the creature is keeping to a small radius, familiar territory. There aren't many people coming out except both of you interesting individuals. And Pluma's sort of walking around doing that investigator kind of deduction. And these creatures tend to, let's see, scaly. So likely they have young. This seems to be a good environment, closed, defensive, fresh water.
As soon as you say young, they start picking up their bags. Like, wait, well, yes, it seems like you are absolutely on top of this. And Mei Ling's like, yeah, you've got it. I think we could just
I
head on.
stick my
Can we get
foot
that note now?
inside a strap that is on the floor of the corresponding backpack.
Okay. Mei Ling tries to like pull it, and is like, that's my bag. Can
That's
you?
my foot.
What?
That's my
What
foot.
do you do?
And
As she tries to rip the backpack away from you, what do you do? Anybody else can act as well.
I have a skill called steady hands. And steady hands could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, it sure could.
It sure could. And when I see this altercation, I would like to slot myself between Pluma and Mei Ling and just put some hands on her shoulders. And this is not an aggressive move, but like a calming, steadying move.
Okay.
Of like you don't want to start this. I'm fixing a problem because I'm a fixer before it begins.
Very fixer.
And just being like, and I just kind of like, look, this can go one of two ways. We can keep it nice and peaceful. I can give you what you need and you leave what you took. Or we can get rough about it. But they're nerds and you don't want to be on the other end of her knife.
Roll me a d6. Aiming for a 3 or higher.
No!
I'm getting out of the boat and heading over.
Okay.
What did you get?
I got a 2.
A 2.
However, skills can be used to auto-succeed or reduce the target based on the book. Based on the Mappa Mundi Quick Start Guide. So, is there a world in which I can negotiate?
Yeah, let's say it's a 3,
game?
but your skill reduces it to a 2. So we'll say you just succeed.
I am that rules person.
Yeah, good job you read them.
Imagine reading the rules. Wow.
Imagine reading the
Look at what it does for you. Read the rules.
I did the homework.
Indeed. So you succeed. Mailing, as you say this, the wind goes out of her sails and she just sags and just gestures towards the bag.
I appreciate it. And I will kind of like gently move her to the side so that way Pluma can do the thing. And as Pluma passes, I'm just gonna like pick up the pen and start writing the note in a sign of good faith of you have done the right thing and I have agreed to make a trade and I will make the trade now so you know that we're going to do the right thing too.
Sure. So you're writing the note, and Pluma, are you going to open this backpack?
Open, crouch down, stabilize the backpack, and gently open the top.
You open it and you find a large glass jar containing water. And as you lift it up to the light, you can just about make out kind of like an opalescent egg. It looks like frog spawn. It's kind of it's spherical but lumpily so. It's kind of got a milky contents, and then like in the center of the kind of murky milky contents, you can just about make out like a little nucleus. It's about the size of a small melon.
Oh, Pluma will hoist it up, put her face and cheek entirely on the glass, and just sort of, almost with her mouth, her lips touching the glass, sort of like hum out that melody into the glass.
You see the egg, like a sort of opalescent sheen runs across the outside of it as you do that. You feel a kind of answering vibration from within the glass.
We'll get you to your parent. Ha, 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 ha.
While this has been going on, Maxilla's kind of sauntered towards Joss and just quietly been like, I'll be really careful. Can I borrow your knife?
This has been a long-standing conversation between the two of them, I think. I think you've asked for this knife several times, and it's always been a no.
Okay, well then will you come with me really sneaky while they're distracted?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool. Can you just cut through this rope on their boat so I can push it away?
Okay, here's the knife. You go do that.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up to Lady with the Swords, Mei-Ling. And just resume the staring contest for a minute.
She's been like broken by being talked down to like that. And she just sort of like looks at you, looks ashamed, looks down, is like.
I just hand her a pastry.
She takes it, takes a big bite out of it, and chews inelegantly.
What's is it Sue?
Sue.
Sue. What's Sue doing?
Sue is just arms folded, waiting, and when you finish the note, she reaches out a hand for it and takes it and says, "Pleasure doing business with you, and I wish you the best of luck."
Maxilla's using her foot to push their boat away into the water and is waving at it.
Just after she says that to Penny, she looks up and sees the boat and goes, "Ah! What? We had a deal."
You had a deal.
And with that, I'm going to say that you leave them stranded in a place where the guard can easily come and find them. And you head on with your journey, because we still have a final card to reveal. So, turning over the final card, we have the crevasse. And it is inverted. There is some piece of information that you failed to find in the research phase that would have helped you with this. And you find that the river narrows and rushes. And what we're going to need here is a group traversal check. Now, you were slightly warned due to your opportunity and your interaction about this situation. So it would have been a target number 4. But it's going to be a target number 3 to keep the boat intact and guided in the right direction, not bouncing off the walls of this deep ravine that is a crack in rock underground. Okay, so everybody traversal checks, please.
This is just a
We'll go with the
traversal.
average for the group. So it's whatever dice you have for traversal.
And skills don't apply here.
What skill you got that you want to use?
I've got steady hands, so I would like to take the oars.
Do it.
And okay, that's a deduction skill. So am I rolling the D4 for traversal or the D6 for deduction?
Roll me a d6 for deduction because the skill applies, I think.
Thank you, narrator.
No worries.
That's a 5 on a D6.
Amazing,
Ooh.
wonderful. Bringing the average up. What have we got elsewhere?
3.
A 3,
A 4.
a 4,
A 2 on a D4.
a 2. That average is great. You have a moment of fear as the water froths to either side of the boat and it jostles before Penny bravely takes the oars and steadies you out. And after you're past the first initial narrowing of the water where it rushes, it sort of eases and you get into a kind of rhythm as Penny rows the boat. You have overcome this challenge and you each get a fate point. Fate points allow you to re-roll a check that fails, which will be potentially useful at the next stage. You now get a chance to shape this environment as you're passing through this deep. So the walls are maybe 15 feet apart, but it goes up high and there are stalactites and you see little glowing points of light on these stalactites. I want you to shape for me. What are they? What are you seeing?
I don't know what they are, but I can describe them a little bit more. They're
Go for
not
it.
just regular stalactites. They've actually got, they're like, I think locally they probably call them needle stalactites, and they've actually got a hole worn in the middle of them. And as we're flying along, as the wind is howling down, it's passing through each of these differently sized holes, and the whistling becomes like a chorus. There's like this vast cacophony of singing around us as the wind passes through these different sized holes.
Like a giant pipe organ.
Yeah, very that.
Nice, nice. Anybody else got anything they want to add to that?
I would like to add something about the lights. I think that where we're moving so fast, it's difficult to notice, but the lights are actually moving. They're insects, and they're like spinning through and like scuttling in and out. And like these stalactites with the needles are their like home, like their nest.
It's an insect city.
Yeah, it's like an insect city, like above, and these insects glow.
Love that.
Amazing.
Stalactites are formed by water dripping over countless years, but there's so very many of them, all so long and thin, that it's just like we're back outside and it is raining gently down on us as we go through.
Pluma doesn't necessarily add anything to this area, but she is right now, instead of writing, narrating the area to the egg. We're gonna get you back to your parent, but those are stalactites. Oh, those are needle stalactites, and inside there are little lightning bugs, and they crawl up and down, so it looks like they're twinkling, and the water, and sort of just whispering the narration to the egg that is in her arms right now, completely enveloped within the vial.
Lovely. And you travel through this space, again in awe of the majesty of this new environment that you are discovering. And again, the river opens out into another cavern, smaller than the previous one. This one is a open lake. At the far end, you see a point of light as if there is an exit point. You see sticking out of the lake various stalagmites, and in the center of it, there are a cluster of them that form a kind of island. As you are heading into this space, you feel again, but actually you can hear it with your ears now, that cuckoo, and you feel the boat jostle and look down into the water and see a pale streak move through the water. You look again, and the water is clear, and you see maybe 100 more of those eggs. As you watch, the streak moves through the water, goes to that island, and a large reptilian pale body breaches the water and lively climbs up on a stalagmite and wraps its small claws around it and peers its head around. It has a large web-shaped head, big smiling mouth, no eyes, little whiskers.
It's beautiful.
So we're heading into the encounter phase. We have just entered the den of a majestic monster creature, a huge aquatic lizard type creature that has perched itself up on a stalagmite and started taking in our chroniclers, who are approaching in a rowboat with one of its lost eggs. So, okay, the way the encounter phase works is you have on your character sheet interactions. You all have different interactions, and these are the ways that your particular chronicler uses to try and discover more about the monsters that they encounter. The monster has a set of behaviors I have written down here, and those behaviors are discoverable by different types of interactions. So the idea is that you try your interactions, you roll. If the interaction is successful, then you discover a behavior, and you get to do a little bit of shaping as well. If your roll fails, then you will sever a thread. The monster has 8 threads in this case, which track how close it is to wanting to leave this situation, essentially. How it's feeling disposed towards you. Some monsters might turn aggressive when all of their threads are severed. Others might just flee. It depends on the scenario. Threads can also be frayed if you attempt interactions that don't have a corresponding behavior. Frayed threads, if they're frayed twice, will sever. So we have 8 threads. Because most of your cards on the journey phase were the right way up, you are coming into this encounter with all the threads intact. The creature is in a passive posture. It appears to be curious, but not immediately aggressive towards you. So, with that said, any questions? That was a lot of rule dump. Okay, cool. Does anybody have an interaction that they would like to try? Yes? Darcy?
I'm going to very gently sort of boop Penny out of the way and take over the oars again. She looks really tired. She's done a lot of really hard work getting us down that chasm. And I'm just going to guide the boat in a really slow, gentle circuit of this cavern. I'm just going to do a loop so that we can kind of survey, we kind of reiterate to this monster, reassure it that we're not here to attack, we're here to be passive as well, and get us on sort of an equal footing. That interaction is called Explore, and will hopefully give us like a wider view of mostly like the terrain and its setup within that terrain. Hopefully.
Okay. I would like you to roll your Explore.
I will do this. It is a d6, and that is a 5.
A 5.
It was nearly a 1.
Yeah, I will say that you discover something that you already suspected. This creature is guarding some eggs. It is poking its head up to see what the new entry into its domain is, and it is, as it pokes up, its little whiskers move, and then it heads back down and does another lap around the sort of island of stalagmites that seems to be its base, and sort of laps around the eggs. You see it stop and check a couple of them and then come back up onto a different stalagmite and take another sort of take another scan. It does not have eyes, so it's not correct to say that it looks around. So you've discovered one behavior. Who would like to go next?
I have something for when we want it to get close, so I'm gonna hold off and
Okay.
let people do kind of like distant interactions first.
I have one distant thing, which is as we're being sort of gently paddled around by Joss, Maxilla's climbing back up onto that sort of figurehead position she'd taken and leaning forward. And she's going to close her eyes and try to sniff the air and try to experience, on some level, what this creature is experiencing as it's scanning, and see if she can scent anything about this creature. Scanning it back as it scans us.
Sure things. This is your read interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Roll me your read. Yeah, aiming for a 3.
Okay. Oh, that is a 1.
That's a 1. So you lean forward and begin to sort of sniff the air and try and use your extrasensory perception. Just as that happens, the oar of the boat hits one of the underwater stalagmites that Joss just wasn't aware of, and the rippling vibration of that, the creature seems to whip its wedge-shaped head around, and it seems vaguely agitated by that. A thread is frayed.
Sorry.
Actually, no. A failed check means a thread is severed. So you've severed 1 out of 8 threads. You can, by the way, repair threads with different interactions that succeed. So you can attempt that. But for now, it's 1 out of 8 threads. The creature is alert. It's not as relaxed as it was, but it's not yet aggressive.
If I've severed it, I would definitely say that when the boat judders slightly, I am too high up and Maxilla falls and splashes into the water and scrambles back up in a very undignified and startling way.
Can I catch you? Like before you hit the water, because I know the eggs are in the water, and also I've been kind of this whole time keeping an eye and a hand out for you.
Yes, please catch me so I can gently hit the surface, but then get dragged back in.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, you do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Next interaction.
I have a distance one I can do. One of my interaction, I'd like to do 2 interactions in the end, but the first one I'll take is the sketching interaction. So
sure.
as the oar kind of slapped the water too hard, Pluma has been noting down as best she could what sort of visual behavior the creature took when it was agitated, when it was calm. Now that it seems to be on guard, she knows, okay, the whiskers have been uncurled and extended outright. Its breathing has picked up, and she would like to sort of visually, she would sort of like to signal the creature seems to now have been relaxed. Now is the time to move. I think because it's still stressed, we should stay still. So when is a good time to continue our own movement based on the creature's behavior, on the sketches she's taking?
So you sketch. You're aiming for a 2 here.
Okay, so I'm going to roll a d6. I rolled a 5.
A 5. You discover a behavior. For a 5, that's a successful roll. You discover that the creature is completely blind, as you might have already suspected. It has some other sensory apparatus that it's using. It is moving its head towards you, but you see it not just move its head towards you, but kind of move its head from side to side, as if it's using some other kind of perception.
Oh, okay. I think everyone, the creature calmed down because it's in this, and she quickly flips a page. It's in this state, not now, and not in, flips the page back, this other state it was just in. So when it's in, flips page, this state, we can move gently, but not if it's in, flips page, this stage. You got that, baby? You're going to have whiskers just like your parents, and that's how you perceive the world. Baby, you're going to be so cool.
So 2 behaviors discovered, 1 thread severed. What
Does
are you
anyone
doing?
have any more distance things? Because otherwise I'm going to try and... I've got an idea.
I have a very drastic thing I'd like to try. One of my interactions is take samples. I'd like to untake a sample I have unwittingly come into possession of.
Yeah, you would like to return samples.
Yes.
Okay,
And
I will
I would
allow
like
a roll for that, and also I will say that if this succeeds, then you will go down to a frayed thread on that first thread, I think. If it succeeds well enough. But I would say you want a... Let me see. Take samples. Yeah, I think you would want a 3 on this.
Okay. All right, baby. It's time to go back with all your siblings and your parents. You're gonna be you're awesome as you are now, but you're gonna be super awesome. I'm Pluma. That's Joss. That's Maxilla. That's Penny. We're bipedal humans. We're chroniclers. You hear my voice again? I'd like to learn more about you and be your friend. And you can learn anything. Okay, unscrew the top. Put the vial completely into the water and finish taking the top off so it's gently slides in equilibrium into the water. And as we're doing so, I will hum that tune and untake the sample in my possession, and I will roll my observation die. Oh, that's a 6.
You're on fire. You are on fire.
First roll was
For a
not good, so I made up
6,
for it.
I will say that as the egg is submerged in the water, you feel your hands in the water, you feel a pulse go out. The creature slips from its stalagmite and moves down towards where the egg is slowly drifting through the water down to join its siblings. And you hear now echoing throughout the cavern, "Coo-coo-coo-ah!" And the eggs, "Coo-coo-coo-ah!" Like,
You're
just
welcome.
call and response back. You have discovered that the creature loves singing. That is a behavior. And also, the thread is no longer severed.
Yay.
Very nice.
Okay. It's 3 behaviors down. Several more to find.
Go for it, Taylor.
I would wait until like the creature. I think we just kind of sit still and silent in the boat for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked Josh to kind of put us back to the mouth of the cave, so back kind of towards that ravine. And I would like to pull out, because I'm resourceful, a bug net.
Okay.
And capture some of those glow bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And offer it out as bait or food. Because lizards eat bugs. And there's a whole food source right there, so to draw it to us. I would like to capture some of those and then like lean low and offer it out as like a I have come to bring you food. Please like me.
Okay, yeah. Give me a is it bait that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing the bait move.
Okay, so bait move, and I would say this is a 2 you're aiming for.
Fantastic. Exploration for me is a D4. I rolled a 3!
A 3! Okay. Right, so you collect some of these bugs in the net, and you... how do you proffer them to the creature?
Literally just... I roll up one of my soaking wet sleeves because my shirt has just been slick to me this entire time.
Mm-hmm,
And I lean low and making sure my hand doesn't touch the surface, but it's close enough that like if a whisker like kind of pops up, it will be able to detect that there is a food source nearby, but also accompanied by like a strange scent. Like just kind of lean down and offer it and stay very, very still.
Okay, you stay very, very still. The creature has, ever since the egg was returned, it's kind of been doing a bit of a scan about, and it has been slightly following the boat at a safe distance, but it seems to have developed a curiosity about this thing that's in its domain. It knows its egg has been returned, so it's coming towards you. You offer out these bugs. You see the creature's head pop out of the water. Its smiling mouth opens, and it tentatively reaches out a tongue to take a bug. Chews it for a second, spits it out, and then swims down, and you see through the clear water as you watch it swims down and it disturbs a school of small fish that swim up. And it quickly gets some of those, as if it's using them as a palate cleanser. You have discovered that it is a piscivore.
Ah.
Okay.
And as a bonus, I would
release
like you to
the blood.
describe the little fish for me.
I think these fish, you know, like sea glass. I think that they're like almost like semi-transparent, like almost like that kind of jellyfish thing with like the different like sea glass hues. Because everything here is like magical, like and like just something ever so slightly different. And like some of them jump and I think some of them break the surface and do like snatch like a bug out of the air, and that's the ecosystem.
That's the chain.
That's the chain. That's
circle.
the food chain.
Nice. Okay. Doing a wonderful job. Does anybody else have anything else they want to try? There are still some behaviors yet to officially uncover.
I've got one that I'm trying. It's a word that is open to interpretation, and I've been trying to think what is the best use of it.
I love to interpretate.
I love to interpretation. I'm going to try something a little bit potentially risky, but since we're back near the entrance, I feel like this is the time. Knowing that it has been calmed down, knowing that it is enjoying a meal, and it is in a very relaxed state, I'm going to, as we're just sort of drifting around on the water, I'm just going to take my knife and knock off the top of a stalagmite. And it's just so I've got like a decent sized chunk of rock in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw it as far as I can to the other side of the room. I want it to make a noise. I want it to maybe hit a stalactite and knock it in the water and make a bit of a kerfuffle, because I just want to see if it has any defensive behaviors that we can track. I'm not actually putting it in danger, I just want to startle it slightly. So the interaction is project. This is me projecting the rock across the cavern.
Project. Okay, cool. All right, great. Please give me your roll. You're aiming for a 2 here, I think.
Okay, I've got a 6 on this, so that's good odds. Touch wood. Yep, that's a 5.
A 5. You throw this chunk of sedimentary rock, like it lands in the cavern, makes a splash. You see the creature break off from its meal, like scan around under the water, and head towards the sound. I'm going to say for that, you pick up that it is a defensive creature. It is not a creature that it would be prone to being aggressive naturally, but it will defend its nest. And it goes to check on what that sound was over there very quickly.
I have a question.
Mm.
How deep underground are we, roughly? Like, is it like there are like holes in the ceiling and we can kind of hear what's happening on the surface?
Give me an observation check. You're only aiming for a 2.
I'm rolling a d4. That's a 2.
A 2, right. There is, at the other end of the cavern, you've done a lap around and you have seen that the cavern does actually lead to a small cave opening on the other side. You remember that Sue and Mei Ling said to you that they wanted to go through this cavern because there were passages on the other side that they wanted. It seems literally there is an opening on the other side of this cavern. Where it opens out to would be hard to say, but yeah.
Is there daylight?
Yes.
Okay. So that means we can hear. And what I would like to hear, as it's been startled, is if the rain increases.
Let's see. Do you have a skill for this, or
I don't. But
do you know what? This isn't the kind of game where you have to roll for everything. I think the rain does not increase, but now that you are thinking about it, since the return of that egg, the rain has decreased slightly.
Okay, because Sue and Mei Ling were like, we discovered this a couple of weeks ago, which is when the rain started. We already had a hypothesis that this monster is controlling the weather somewhat. So I was just wondering, like, if startling it increases rain, increases the water levels in the cavern, like whether we can soothe it enough to make the rain stop.
That's an interesting hypothesis.
I have a slightly related one, actually. Maybe it needed to rain to fill up this cavern to the height in order for its eggs to incubate.
Interesting.
Maxilla, confident that if she falls off the front of the boat, someone will catch her. It always seems to be the case. Leans forward. She would love to touch the creature, but it's currently deep down in the water. So she's going to reach out a hand and just start off just so gently tapping that same rhythm into the water. And then louder and louder until she shoves her head directly under the water again.
I'm holding on to her.
Yeah,
she has taken that deep breath and she has let her sinuses fill with this water. And then she, as much as she can, through the water that is filling all of her respiratory tract right now, sings out, "I'm Maxilla, that there is Jaws, that is Pluma, and that's Penny. We found ladies stealing your egg. We brought it back, and we're sorry."
Okay, give me a touch check. Give me your roll. Let's see. You're aiming for a 3.
Okay. Can I use a fate point to roll it again?
Yes, you can use your fate point to roll it again.
Didn't happen. I didn't roll a 2.
No, fate intervened.
Fate intervened and gave me a 1.
Oh
no!
Oh, Maxilla!
No, it's not that what you're trying is a bad plan. It's just that your face is underwater, and as soon as you open your sinuses, they flood, and you do not have the sort of mental stillness to sit with that. Like, something instinctual and primal just makes you pull your face out of the water, cough out that water. Yes, Taylor, what is it?
So I read in the quick start guide that some things take multiple fate points and multiple people to help out. Is there a way that one of us can use a skill? So maybe this way of touch didn't work, but we could do something to get the same effect. Maybe.
Sure thing. Do you have an idea? Pitch it. Go for it.
I think that I would like to use my don't eat that skill to pull her out of the water. And I would instead like to pull out a hollow tube from my backpack. And place one end in the water and go, "Good idea, try again." And like hand you the other end so you can speak into the water without having to submerge your whole face.
Nice. Okay. I will say that with this help, you can roll again and aim for a 2.
Okay, so I roll again?
You roll again. Go for it. You are doing that same little song.
This is my first time using this dice set, and I don't want to have to put the whole thing in jail.
Rehabilitation.
That's a 3.
Yeah. Okay. So you sing the song, and it goes on long enough that the creature comes up and you see it suspended in the water, sort of swaying to the rhythm of your little song. And then as you trail off, you just hear faintly from in the water, "And we're sorry."
Wait, no, we can't have taught this new species to apologize instantly.
It loves to sing. It loves to sing.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm going to say that you have discovered, I think, another behavior. It is, it listens through water, is the behavior you've discovered. And I'm going to give you another one because I think that you already figured this with your decision to tap on the water. It's an echolocator.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay.
Great job, Michelle.
Nice.
Yay! Great job, Penny, mitigating Maxilla's disasters.
Look, I said I was gonna use the don't eat that skill.
We knew it would be on me. We knew all along.
I think where we are now, there's only one more behavior to discover, but it's that the creature is amphibious, which I think that you've worked out, and I don't think that there's a lot to be gained by playing this out. I feel like you have done a really good job of mapping out all this creature's behaviors. You have discovered them all, which is the encounter phase ends either when you discover all the creature's behaviors or when you fray all of its threads, and you have repaired the one thread that you severed and discovered all its behaviors. It's been an unmitigated success, and due to that, we have a little bit in this material for this adventure that says what happens later on, depending on how well you do. And essentially, because you have discovered these behaviors, with the truth uncovered, you have revealed the nature of this creature, which you discover in local mythology is called a wagyu, and is the origin of the Dragon's Tail Rither's name. Like, some ancient peoples who lived here must have known about this creature, but the knowledge had been lost. And you have recovered it. It quickly becomes a sensation among Seioutung's people as a guardian tied to the river of the Dragon's Tail. Understanding that human disturbance caused its dismay, the guard allow a team of careful scholars to interact with it, singing to the wagyu to soothe its woes. Soon it becomes an omen of a new age for the city. So it will be protected. More scholars to come can gently interact with this creature and discover more about this incredible ecosystem. And that's where we leave off for this particular adventure. Thank you very much. It's wonderful. And to those watching, if you're still with us, thank you for hanging out with us. We've had a wonderful time. We hope you have too. This is Euphoria. We have been playing Mappa Mundi, which is kickstarting.
Now.
Go and get
back
it. What are you waiting for? Go and get it. So yeah, wonderful. I have been Everest Burke. Cass, do you want to sign off?
Thanks so much for having me at the table. This was a lovely game, and the sort of imagination spinning and not having to worry about like the typical things like combat, I didn't miss that at all. It was just like really wholesome, genuine fun, and I'm going to have to play this game again later. So thanks to 3 Sail Studios for that. My name is Aida. You can find me on the internet as In the Pan. I'm one of the co-founders here at Euphoria, and we're here to uplift the TTRPG creative community, particularly those that are based in Europe, like everyone you see at this table. We're here to celebrate the diversity of peoples and ideas, like you see at this table, and like the game we're playing, who is also by good beings who are based here in Europe and the UK. So thanks for supporting us and for being just as excited about this game as we are.
Wonderful. I guess it's Darcy up next.
It's me. I'm next in the alphabet.
The old
It'd be JC
alphabet.
Darcy, that good old alphabet. We know it well. I'm one of the other co-founders here at Euphoria. We're all staff here, by the way. The 4 of us players are all staff here at Euphoria, and this is our first time all playing together. So thank you very, very much, Everest, for leading us through that beautiful, wonderful story. I love shaping. I just love the mechanic of shaping so much. I love that we went to a cavern and talked about what was there, and somebody else playing this adventure would go to the same cavern and maybe see something completely different. I just think that's really, really beautiful and wonderful. Going back this game, it's going to be huge. It's going to be fantastic, and you're really going to enjoy it. So go play it.
Okay.
Michelle?
Hello everyone, have been and remain Michelle Kelly. I'm an actor, singer, voice actor, and staff at Euphoria. This has been a delight to play this game. I also love the shaping. I love any opportunity for collaborative world building, and I love the way that it is built so seamlessly into this system, that there is a story to uncover, but you can be a co-creator of that story. I think that's beautiful. So I'm going to be back in this game. I can't wait to play it again. Hey, you're here watching Euphoria, so you're obviously a fan of the fabulous content we make. So check out my GMing debut, the Blades in the Dark series, which just ended at time of this airing. You can find it all on YouTube. And watch out for spinning the yarn with Taylor, because I'm going to be a guest on it soon. I'm super excited. And yeah, you can follow me at MichelleCopter on the socials to find out all the other wonderful TTRPG-ish things I'm up to.
I guess it's me left. Thank you, everyone. I have been Taylor Navarro. Will I still be her in the future? TBD, but for now I am. I am a creative consultant here on Euphoria, new staff member. Thank you so much, Darcy and Aida, for bringing me on board. I am also the host of Spinning the Yarn, which is a fortnightly TTRPG interview show where we get a little bit crafty and we talk about TTRPGs. I'm also an advocate for diversity and inclusion, specifically for POC in the TTRPG industry. So follow me at Taylor Ann NX. I'm sure the link will be somewhere to see what I'm getting up to, because I love bringing people together just like this game. And I think my favorite thing about it is actually the phases. I love the structure of this game and the fact that you can do it all in one session and you know exactly what you're doing. I think that it is very complementary to that chronicling like idea that sits at the heart of this. And so 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Go back on Kickstarter.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I should also mention again that this is community content that we've been running by Jamie Bernstein, who's on the internet as Gecko Pirate, an established adventure writer who has become part of the Mappa Mundi community and has written this wonderful adventure that we've all enjoyed playing through. So yeah, check that out as well as the Kickstarter. And yeah, wonderful.
And just quickly want to say, I want to give flowers to Ivris as well for running this wonderful game. Follow Ivris everywhere on the internet. The socials will be posted down below. Ivris is a great storyteller, a game designer. I love a lot of her games. I've been in this room and cried for mechanic purposes to one of Ivris's games before. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I don't want to plug myself when we're working on someone else's game, but thank you very much. Wonderful. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah. Final shout out then to 3 Sales, George and Jeremy and the team for putting together the game and for giving us this. Thank you for putting in the work. Thank you for making a beautiful game, for doing so sensitively and doing all that work around other cultures as well. It was one of the things that first drew us to the game. And we hope the Kickstarter just absolutely explodes. We hope it goes fantastic. I think maybe we'll play it again. Should we have it on the channel again?
Let us know in the comments, everyone.
Keep your eyes peeled for that.
Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Take care.